Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, we are from Group 8, contain me, Rega Dastara, with student ID number 21323260, and then there is Ashisha Mahar with a student ID number 21323239. With the topic we discuss in here is democratic transition and the democratic process in the Baltic states. Next slide. Wait.
For the background of incident, I will be explaining this slide. So the collapse of the communist socialist regimes in the Eastern Europe became the main cause of the democratic transition in the Baltic countries. And the deteriorating economic condition in the Baltic countries also sparked the spirit of reform of its citizens through the anti-communist movement. In the Baltic region, for example, there is the Sudetist reformist populist movement in the 1989-88 against the domination of the Soviet Union. The reforms have produced strong social protest, and the governments have been under pressure to maintain social guarantees during the period of transition.
Okay, we go to the next slide. This is we will write about the chronology of the event, what the taking place. So in here there is a four. The four under we can underline the most what important chronology. So first is after World War II, the Eastern Europe country were consisted by the victor of the war, like US. We know that United States is there is a bloc, a Western, and then allied by European countries with the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe with a Eastern bloc. And then after that, process of taxation by creating an acceleration mechanism is a concept of glasnost, openness by democratia or democracy. This event is easing the Cold War in 1980 was due to awareness among the two sides to prioritize by mutual safety, like until finally a figure named Mikhail Gorbachev who pioneered the perestroika and then purification through the restructuring in all aspect by the prevent process, stagnation, and creating like mechanism of the concept like glasnost and democratic like that. And then the material damage caused by the World War II and exterminated by the Soviet communists who interfered a statute in Eastern Europe in 1944 until 1991. And then the Soviet Union, such like East Germany, the Baltic countries, Romania, Albania, which only took advantage of their strategic location because the potential explanation of natural resources. But in 1971, the socialists federated by the Yugoslavia or the Balkan region experienced the states of economic stagnation, and then worse due the prolonged the ethnic conflict between Croatia, Serbia, Bosnia, and then Macedonia, Montenegro, Slovenia, and then the Yugoslavia Federation, which implemented open the market economy. Next slide. We also explain about Yugoslavia experienced a severe economic crisis in position role to the central of the government. But we can also underline the failure of communists in system economic in Eastern Europe that is made a citizen inflame the spirit of the reform from the anti-communist independent and movement. Next slide. This is the condition before the accident, the incident of what we can call it transition. The first is the creation of the Western and Eastern Bloc. As I mentioned before, between US is Western Bloc, and then Russia, USSR is for Eastern Bloc, and then before incident, there's the end of Cold War in 1960 century, and then the only one, Mikhail Gorbachev, who pioneered perestroika. I have mentioned before in the slide before this before incident. Okay, next slide.
So in this very slide, I will be explaining about the condition after the incident of the democratic transition in the Eastern Europe or the Baltic states. So the communist countries in Eastern Europe are experiencing a crisis after this democratic transition. The foreign parties directly or indirectly affect these countries. In foreign policy, especially political relation with the US and the European Union, which provide assistance with a mandatory condition, namely changing the old order that is not constructive. Yeah.
And this is the positive and negative impact on domestic and international. Maybe Hasa can read positive and I read the negative.
Okay, I will read the positive first. So first one is the Estonia, Lithuania, and Latvia to declare their independence. And the second one is Baltics leaders become replaced by the new elected government democratically and begin their integration into the international environment of politics and economy. And then the third positive impact is the regional cooperation increases between these Baltic countries and Eastern Europe countries. And then the fourth one is after joining the European Union in 2004, the Baltic states are showing dynamic increases in their GDP.
And then beside of the positive impact, there is a negative impact too, like increasing the influence of United States as a global power and creating opportunity for corruption and crime in Russia. And then the second is the impact of the imminent for war. We can quote that World War II and Cold War, and then many of hunger, poverty, especially in Eastern Europe and in the world. Okay, next slide.
The last slide, this is our point of view of the transition. So from our point of view, the phenomenon of the democratic transition and its impact in several Eastern European countries has become a momentum in global history. And apart from that, another major event that has also become a momentum for the people of these countries is the occurrence of a democratic transition that changed their state system from socialist communism to democracy, especially in several countries in the Eastern European region, which experienced major impacts from the two conflicts until the 2000s. And then the impact can be felt by the people of the Eastern Europe, in particular, and neighboring countries that have been affected. And I think that's all from our group. Thank you so much for your attention. If you guys have a question, yes.
But I think we have to plus explain the aftermath this transition. Let me tell a little bit about that. It must be underlined because it is important condition too. Like first, the revolution in East Germany in 1989. And then second, the foreign policy of Romania under President Nicol is really greatly benefit in America. And then third, from the death of the General Secretary, Communist Party of Albania. And that is the several condition or several important event we must to underline aftermath the transition between Eastern Europe and the Baltic area. That's enough, Hasa. You can close the presentation.
Okay, thank you so much. That was a very insightful edition. So yeah, guys, if you have any question, you can ask us in the class discussion. So yeah, thank you so much for your guys' attention. Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi